Hey folks, Michael Collins, EnviroReporter.com. What you're looking at there on September 25th, a Sunday, 2011, is a 10-minute reading of paper towel that we collected mist here in Santa Monica, in the western edge of the Los Angeles basin. And this sample of mist, we did a 10-minute average, came in at 67.1 counts per minute. We had done a previous average here in Radiation Station, interior average, with our inspector here. It came out to be 37.5 counts per minute. That means that this rain sample, or mist sample, is 78.9% over normal. That is not good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test for alpha radiation. And how you do that is alpha radiation can be stopped by your skin, a piece of paper, plastic, and alpha radiation is very dangerous. It's 60 to 1,000 times more dangerous than beta or gamma radiation. So what we're going to do is, now that we have this average of what this is, we know that it's over significantly, 78.9% over background. We're going to put plastic right here, just like that. And this plastic can stop alpha. So we'll do another 10-minute average and we'll see what the difference is. Give me a moment, I'm writing down some notes. And we'll get right to it. Okay, so that's how we do it. We clear this. It's on its timer. Turn that down. This is the detection screen that you see here. And don't want to get any goo on it. Throw off the inspector. And throw it off for good. So here we go. We're going to turn it on. It's 100% calibrated. It's going to do us for 10 minutes. And now we're going to put it right back down on our sample. And we're going to see if there's any difference from the 671 total counts that we got from our first test of this sample. Now, because I didn't successfully take a film of those 671 counts for the uncovered sample, I'm going to cover a few things. Now, like I said, alpha is a very dangerous form of radiation, and the most dangerous form there is. Now, while it can be stopped with a piece of paper or plastic or even your skin, if you get it in you, if you ingest it through inhalation, digestion, absorption through your skin, let's say it gets in your eye, you inhale it. So it can get in you and begin to radiate. And it certainly wouldn't begin to radiate, it would have already been radiating. And so what that can do is cause cell damage and wherever it takes up. And then you get a real problem. So what we're going to do here is take another 10-minute average. And with apologies to our regular ratty commenter, Chaz. I know Chaz would like us to not do full 10-minute films, but if you get impatient, you just have to drag the circle on the lower part of the screen there and drag it over to the right and see what the final result is. When Denise and I were on a 4-state swing through the Southwest, we tested rain from a storm system, very freakish kind of storm system that blew up from the south, from Mexico and from the Pacific off of Mexico, did not come in on the jet stream. Now, the reason that's significant is because we wanted to see what kind of radiation levels we found in a non-jet stream storm, simply because we were in a non-jet stream storm activity area. We got up to about 3 times background with heavy alpha presence indicated in Bryce Canyon National Park, where same storm system dumped rain on the Grand Canyon and on Zion National Parks, which we also recorded. That's significant. 3 times background. That is very significant. However, if you were Porter Blog, who's another ratty who comments regularly on EnviroReporter.com on our radiation conversation, if you're Porter Blog, in the same week, he detected with his inspector 133 times background. 133 times background over the Midwest, the breadbasket of America. That's because that rain came directly on the jet stream over from, not the rain itself, but the jet stream itself comes from across the Pacific and brings radionuclides with it from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear meltdown disasters, which I'm sure you all know by now. Were not just 3 simultaneous meltdowns, which are ongoing, but they were melt-throughs, which means that the molten nuclear fuel melted through the containment vessel, which is made out of very heavy-duty steel and very heavy-duty concrete around it. Now, we find out that, and we've known this for a while, that we have had melt-outs. Now, that's the most feared scenario in nuclear reactor disaster scenarios. When that fuel is molten and you cannot control it, things are going to happen. And we've never had this in history. This is the first time. You're all part of an experiment that you don't even know about. And the reason you don't know about it is because your media isn't covering it. The reason your media isn't covering it is multifaceted. Number one, media is in such a poor state of affairs, mainstream media, that the reporters just simply aren't there. The reporters with the expertise, the reporters with equipment like this, which most reporters do not have, don't have the expertise, they don't have the equipment, nor do they have the motivation to cover the fact that America and Canada are getting hammered by Fukushima fallout. Now, in some of the comments you'll read on YouTube and other places about these detections, mine in particular and other people's, you will have a very resolute cadre of meltdown deniers that will say, oh no, that's radon progeny. Oh no, you've got the wrong detector. You don't have the experience. You don't know what you're doing. Every single excuse for this heightened radiation other than meltdowns upwind of our country and that lovely country to the north, Canada, being impacted by fallout. Now, to me, what that's like, it's like a drunk driver being pulled over by a policeman for weaving on the road, and he gets out of the car and he tells the policeman, no, it was the alignment on my car that made me weave. It was the bald tires on the car that made me weave. It was my kid yelling in the back seat that made me weave. Anything but the obvious, which is, hey pal, you're drunk, you're busted. Same thing here. We have a situation where we have obvious heightened radiation in this country coming in all forms, in our air, in our water, in our rain, in our mist. When it begins to snow, we're going to test that. In our food, our dry milk, our hot dogs. EnviroReporter has tested this. We tested numerous items of Japanese-made food and drink that are sold in any of the 43 Japanese stores in Southern California, groceries and markets, as well as the approximately 885 Japanese restaurants in Southern California. All these things have tested high for radiation. And we've detected alpha radiation, which is quite frightening. So, what we've got here is a test, once again, for a mist sample here in Santa Monica, collected on the 25th of September in the morning. And it is certainly over background. And how much over background is going to be interesting. Our first go around, its total count was 671. We're getting close to the end of this 10-minute run, and then we'll minus whatever figure we get from 671, and we'll see what amount is attributable to alpha. And the reason we know it's alpha is because the way the detector is right now, sitting on top of that plastic, the radiation underneath it in that paper towel, it's not getting through to the detector. Nor is alpha radiation radiating from above the detector or the side of the detector to get in. We're cutting off the alpha because the detector is made of a solid substance and it can't get to the detection tube. So what we do is we do a process of elimination. Is there alpha in this sample? Well, we're about to find out. One quick thing, you might have noticed that we're not doing repetitive daily averaging here in radiation station and right outside radiation station. The reason is we've established over half a year, over 1,350 tests, radiation tests, and we know what the range is in here, and that very time-consuming activity is now, that energy is being put towards in situ, or where you find it, testing, as well as multimedia testing, which is stuff like this, Santa Monica mists, and food and drink, and heading off to the southwest, because if the radiation and the rains won't come to us, we'll go to it. We haven't had much rain here in Southern California. Now here we go. Here's our final. I'm going to take a couple notes and tell you what we found. So we have 627, and that is, first of all, we're going to see how much over background that is. Just take a sec, bear with me. So this is 67.2% over background. Now let's minus this count from the 671 that we had before. So we have 671 minus 627, and that's 44 counts a minute. And we're going to divide that by 671, which shows that about a 6.5% amount is possibly from alpha radiation. Now, that is significant to a degree, because the fact is 6.7% is less than 15% margin of error for this machine. So we can't say with absolute certainty that that we have a high alpha presence in this mist, but we do know that even with the alpha cutoff, that we had a 67.26% rise in radiation from the background, with the uncovered sample allowing alpha radiation as well. We had a 78.93% rise in radiation. These are the latest figures at Radiation Station, run by EnviroReporter.com in Santa Monica, California on Sunday, September 25th. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.